A very good morning to all my kids. Kids, today we will be starting with a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Important Dynasties of South India. In this lesson, the achievement of famous king from Satvahana, Kadamba, Ganga, Chalukya, Pallava, Chola, Rashtrakuta, Kalyana Chalukya, and Hoysala dynasty are described. The contributions of these dynasties to art, agriculture, religion, literature, education, economic, and social field are also being explained. So let's go ahead and get to know about them. Let's get started with Satavahanas first. The Satavahanas were the first to establish the dynasty in Deccan and settle in the land between river Godavari and river Krishna, which is present-day regions of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Maharashtra. The, the Satavahanas were the vassals of Chandragupta Maurya and paid tribute to him. Then Simuka became independent in 220 BC and established his capital in Srikakulam. Gautamiputra Satakarni was a prominent king of the Satavahanas dynasty. He expanded his kingdom to include Konkan, Berar, Saurashtra, Malwa, and many new areas. Gautamiputra Satakarni was given the title Trisamudra Toya Pitavahana. It means the one who has a horse or horse for riding that has drank the water of 3 seas. He had defeated the Sakas and began the Salivahana Saka era. The last king of the dynasty was Sri Yajna Satakarni. During his time, the empire stood devastated on account of continual attacks by the Sakas. The king was supreme during the Satvahana's rule, but for purpose of administration, the kingdom had been divided into provinces called Janapadas. Officers were appointed to look after the Janapadas. Self-governing institutions looked after the cities and villages. Discrimination on the basis of Varna system did not exist in this society, and women had a status and held a high office. People of different occupations like farmers, merchants, goldsmiths, fishermen, carpenters, weavers, and medicinesmen had formed occupational associations. These associations later emerged as commercial and trade organizations. Nasik, Kalyan, Bharuch, Bhatakal were the famous trade center, and foreign trade was given encouragement. The Satavahanas followed the Vedic traditions, but they believed in harmony and encouraged other religions like Buddhism and Jainism. The Satavahanas promoted art, literature, and education. Literature was created in Prakrit language, which was the language of both scholars and common people. Gatha Shaptasati was written by King Hala in this period. This period also saw the creation of paintings at Ajanta and Amravati. Many temples, viharas, chaitalyas were built. The Banavasi merchant Bhutapala built a Chaitalya Griha at Let's study about Kadamba dynasty. The first dynasty to establish in Karnataka was Kadambas. Mayura Sharma was the founder of the dynasty, and Banvasi, which is presently located in Uttar Karnataka district, was its capital. People say that Mayura Sharma adopted Kshatriya way of life and he had given up the Brahmin life and became Mayura Varma after he was being insulted by the Pallava king. And later he was known as Mayura Varma. He had defeated the Pallavas in a war and established the Kadamba Empire, or you can say the Kadamba dynasty. Mayura Varma is remembered as the pride of all Kannadigas. Under the Kadamba rule, they were politically unity for around 300 years. Provincial officers looked after the provinces. The royal priests, ministers, and military generals had a significant role in administration of the kingdom. The main source of income was land revenue. The main occupation in the society were carpenters, weavers, oil extractors, goldsmiths, potters, and blacksmiths. Agriculture and trade were encouraged greatly. The people followed Varna Ashrama. The society gave a great importance to hierarchy and undivided family. The Kadambas were the followers of the Vedic culture. They also encouraged Jainism and Buddhism in their kingdom. Jain temples and Jain scholars at Hangal and Puligere received charity to promote and spread Jain culture. Buddhism was also followed in Kadamba kingdom. Ajanta and Banvasi were the two important centers of Buddhism. The temples became the center of celebration later. Prakrit and Sanskrit received encouragement and became the language of royal court. The language of the common people was Kannada. The ancient Halmadi inscription, which is the first inscription available in Kannada, shows the characteristic of the kingdom of Kannada language used in 5th century. The foundation for architecture in Karnataka has been laid by the Kadambas by building many temples and basadi in Banavasi. They built educational centers like Agrahas, Brahmapuri and Ghatikas. The main agrahas or residential schools were found in Telangana and Belagavi. Dear students, just take a moment and pause the video and recall all the points which we learnt about Kadamba previously. You can copy down this in your classwork. Now let's learn about the Ganga's dynasty. Kids, the dynasty of Ganga rulers plays a significant part in early history of Karnataka. The founders of Ganga dynasty are the descendants of the Ikshvaku dynasty. They ruled Kuvalala and Talakadu, Manyapura, which is in present day Nelamangala in rural district of Karnataka. The Gangavadi kingdom was ruled by 27 kings. King Dadiga was the first ruler. King Dhruvnita, who ruled for a long period, was famous and brave warrior and scholar. To strengthen his kingdom, he gained control of Punnata. The Nalalala copper inscriptions reveal that for the purpose of irrigation, King Dhruvinitha constructed many lakes. He was a lover of literature, wrote creative works in Sanskrit and Kannada, and translated the Vadakatha of Gundaya from Prakrit to Sanskrit. The king had a council of ministers who supervised different branches of administration. The administration in villages was very systematic, and the village committees looked after land revenue, justice, sanitation, and defense. The main occupation was agriculture. Trade relations with the other countries were really good during this time. The society was patriarchal and divided into different yet independent sects and castes. Social values like honesty, loyalty, bravery, and patience were prominent among the people, and the practice of undivided family was common. The education centers were chaitalyas, temples, mutts, and agrahas. Brahmapuri and Ghatikas were the higher education. Talakadu, Shravanabelagola, Benkapura, and Peruru were the famous centers for the scholars. The Gangas were mostly Jains. Jainism flourished during the rule of the Gangas. Pujyapada, Vajranandi, and Ajita Sena popularized this religion. A 58-foot monolithic idol of Gautameshvara was installed at Shravanabelagola. The Mahamastak Abhisheka of Gomateshwara takes place once in every 2 years. Even today it's being done. Art and architecture were encouraged by the Ganga kings. Beautiful temples were built across the cities like Kapileshwara temple at Manne, Pataleshwara temple Talakad, and Maruleshwara temple Talakad, Koraramma temple Kolar, Nageswara temple Begur were built. The statue of Gautameshwara and at Shravana is also an example of their architecture. The tall pillars called Manastamba and Brahmanastamba has been the significant contribution of the Gangas. The Ganga kings were lovers of literature and encouraged Sanskrit, Prakrit, and Kannada languages and work written in these languages only. It was during this period, that Madhava too wrote the commentary on Dattaka Sutra. King Durvanita translated Gunadhyaya's Vaddakatha from Prakrit to Sanskrit and wrote Shabda Avatara in Sanskrit. Sri Purusha wrote Gajashastra and Shiva Madhava wrote Gajastaka in Kannada. Raghava Pandiva was wrote by Hemasena and Nimechandra wrote Dravasaraha Samagraha. Vabita Simha wrote Gadya Chintamani and Shastra Chudamani. Shavandraya wrote Shavanda Purana. That's all from this lesson. Thank you very much for paying attention. Have a great day ahead.